In northern climates, it's common for the warm season mix to be grazed during the winter as stockpiled forage, saving all that cost of processed feed, etc. Why not just put this back to perennials?
So in full context, this land historically from the early 1800s, when the eastern settlers moved into this country here in Alabama, this would have been plowed and planted in cotton and other crops for almost 200 years now. And when we took over here at this farm, that's exactly what was happening. It was being tilled repeatedly throughout the year and planted into cash crops. So this soil was very beat up, very worn out.
Very beat up, very worn out, but look, I have Johnson grass that seed stayed in that ground.
Yes.
As viable seed, just needing the right stimulus in order to allow it to germinate and grow.
Absolutely, but oftentimes what it takes, if you try to seed perennials into land that has been farmed and cultivated repeatedly, and as we said, pretty much worn out and degraded, then it's very difficult for those annuals to establish themselves.
Why is that?
The biology is not there. It just simply is not. We don't have the aggregate, we don't have the soil organic matter and carbon needed, and we absolutely don't have the biology which is going to build that aggregate and cycle those nutrients that are going to feed those perennials. So we use what you like to call a biological primer. And that is these complex mixes of annuals. So we can come into those degraded fields, plant complex annual mixes designed specifically to rapidly build soil, coupled with that livestock impact that we're implementing. And then that prepares the soil after a couple of years or so to be able to be much more successful in a perennial planting.
Yeah, we see that over and over. It's a common mistake where a farmer will take degraded cropland and seed it directly to perennials, and then they may get a decent germination, but they're not going to get decent production because of lack of biology, lack of mycorrhizal fungi, lack of soil aggregation. So you're priming the soil.
But to that point, what you're holding here and what we're seeing here is a prime example of knowing that we're getting close. Because when we start to see perennials volunteering into that cool season stand, now we know that we are building enough aggregate, we are tapping that latent seed bank, and that these perennials can actually now respond and establish themselves because the nutrient cycling is there to support them.
Right.